What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and I'm back, and we are back for another MVP Games Live. I had to pause there because my dumb brain, my big dumb smooth brain, was like preloading, and it was like, sports, and I was like, nope, not Sports Live, this is Games Live, but I'm joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey.
Soapy, today's another day where, guess what there ain't a lot of today?
Ain't no news.
Ain't no news. There were like two things I saw that I was like, oh, those would be cool to talk about. But I'm like, we could probably just talk about them tomorrow. Hopefully there is more news that comes out tomorrow. I know that the Call of Duty zombie reveal is tomorrow, getting ready for their November release. So we're definitely going to talk about that tomorrow. I know there's a Valhalla trailer today that I'm like, that ain't going to take 50 minutes on its own. So that'll probably be just put on the list. And the next time we get some news rolling up, we'll go ahead and talk about that. So we've got kind of a unique show for you guys today. Before we get into that and everything, welcome into MVP Games Live if you're new, or if you're new to the show. This is where Soapy and I just talk about games, gaming news. Sometimes it's more retrospective. We had a nice conversation on Friday, kind of like an op-ed conversation, opinion discussion about the Hogwarts Legacy game. Yesterday we did some kind of hypotheticals with the Game Awards, our pre-predictions or early predictions, however you want to call it. So sometimes it's gaming news, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just shooting the shit, talking about games. But before we get into today, join the Discord. Link down below in the description or exclamation Discord in Twitch to get that link. It's a great time, great community, talking about everything. We don't just talk about games, TV, movies, if you're into sports, all these different conversations going on in the Discord. Love seeing it each and every day. We also have voice channels in there, and how you get access to that is by supporting us. Patreon.com/MVPvids. For $1, you can get into the voice channels. We're watching tons of stuff. The Game Awards is one of the things for on the gaming side that we're going to be watching. We do WWE watch-alongs, sports watch-alongs, tons of them. We even play Among Us with the people in the Discord community. So if you want to play Among Us with us, go ahead and join that Discord. There's another plug for that. You can also support us at the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum tiers. Thank you to our Patreon sponsors, by the way, Pat Hill and Philly Sean. You can also support us by subbing to us on Twitch. It's a easy, I think it's like $2 for the sub. But hey, let's say you got Amazon Prime. They give you Prime Gaming. You can get the rewards of a bronze tier member from Amazon. So thank you, Amazon, for that. And it doesn't cost you a damn thing in order to do that if you've got Prime Gaming. And then last but not least, we're on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. But then also, we are on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. So go ahead and follow us, like, sub, follow at both of those places. So stay tuned to MVP. Is it $5 for a Twitch sub? I looked, and some of the Twitch subs that we have, it like said 2 something. So yeah, that's what it said on my side. That's where I got that number from. But hey, whatever. I don't even look at I'm more important about the Prime Gaming. Like, if you've got Prime, dude, throw that at a creator, because that's just free money that Amazon is giving you for having Amazon Prime each and every month. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so this is MVP Games Live, and Soapy today, like I said, unique show. No news going on, or not a lot of news going on. So we're kind of talking about our favorite games that we've played all time, and kind of to set some parameter for this. This is not a ranking system. This is not, this is my number 1 game. This is my number 2 game. This is just Soapy and I kind of shooting the shit, talking about games that we've played, why we liked playing them, and kind of like Soapy said to me pre-show, this kind of also gives you a little introspective to what kind of games we enjoy. So this is just basically going to be a big, long discussion of games that we have enjoyed through our time and through our life. And maybe it then goes into, hey, games that this is why I'm excited for X, Y, and Z, because I have played these. So, Soapy, free-form discussion. It's got to start somewhere. I'll ask you point blank. When you thought of the question, when you first saw the headline we were talking about today, and it's your favorite games that you've played throughout your career, what is one of the games, or maybe the first game, that kind of just sprouted like a seed and went, boop, I'm here?
I gotta go with the age-old classic, and if we did do a ranking system, I think I'd have to place this one squarely at numero uno.
Mm-hmm.
BioShock.
Okay, yeah.
The original BioShock. Nothing against 2 or Infinite. It's just BioShock 1's better than both of them. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
Ain't a slight against any of them. They're all good games. It's just hit it out the ballpark in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But just besides me absolutely shit talking the general idea of the other ones, it's BioShock was one of those games of I've always wanted tattoos. And I always said, gaming would be one of those things where I'd be really hesitant to put a tattoo. I literally said, no matter what, the entire BioShock franchise, even though, Infinite wasn't the biggest fan, 2 wasn't the greatest fan, I was like, dude, fuck it, I'd get a BioShock tattoo.
I don't even remember. I'll be honest, I know I played 2 because I've played 1, and then I played 2, and then kind of Infinite. I never finished Infinite. It was one of those things where I got to, was it the first boss in that one? All I remember about the boss is that you were in kind of an open room. Was he kind of like a bishop? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's the boss I quit on. I think it was the first boss, to where it was Infinite wasn't really vibing with me, to where I was like, whatever, I'm just going to go play something else. BioShock 2, though, I don't really in my memory, I don't really remember BioShock 2, even though I know I played it. I remember distinctly, though, BioShock 1.
Yeah, because BioShock 2 is the one where it's you play as the Big Daddy in the game.
Okay.
Of where it's that's the one where you're hunting down the little sister the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Because it's BioShock 1 is the one that you're trying to find a way out of Rapture.
Mm-hmm.
BioShock 2 is I gotta find this little girl because I'm dying because she's not next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Infinite's oh shit, dude, I'm in a cloud full of racist people. I guess I gotta go find my weird way that they connect that end of the story, and I'm not gonna, I was gonna say not spoil it, but dude, that game's 10 years old. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, for spoilers for these, fuck it. They've been, BioShock 1 came out in 2007, so if you haven't played it, it's on you.
Yeah, and I just fucking try to figure out somehow with Infinite story.
Mm-hmm. For me, though, and I'm glad you brought up BioShock first. I didn't know you were going to bring up BioShock. For me, the biggest thing that I think about is I was very late to the BioShock train. To where, like I mentioned, BioShock 1 came out in 2007. Didn't play it. I didn't play it when it came out. I didn't play it shortly after it came out. The year, what year would that have been? So that was when I was at the high school. I was helping out. I wasn't even a teacher yet. I was still finishing up my master's to become a teacher. Oh, fuck. Was that 20... Shit. It was between the years 2012 and 2015. I want to say it was more 2012, maybe 2013, when I actually played BioShock, because the only reason I played it was the guy who was basically had hired me on to hey, you're going to help me out teaching band over there at the high school. He was a huge gamer. And that's all we would fucking talk about. That and Game of Thrones and shit. And all the nerdy TV shows and movies. And for gaming, he was also an Xbox guy like you, Soaps. So we were on different sides of the console war. He would just talk up BioShock, and I was like, I've never played it. And he's like, dude, you have to go home tonight. He's like, that's your homework. Go home tonight, play BioShock. And I've talked about it before on the show, where I think the reason why I remember BioShock so vividly is because of I added the extra element I didn't have to, which was basically, oh, I'm in my basement playing it at 1, 2 in the morning, which is pitch black outside. Oh, let me just turn off the lights in my entire basement so it's just pitch black all around me, and the only thing that's radiating light is the TV in front of me. To where that game and its setting, that is the perfect way to play that game in almost complete darkness so that you're kind of surrounded and engulfed into the game that you are playing. And I remember getting to the end, and it was one of those things where it's like, I had a feeling, like some games you play and you're like, all right, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. Like, I had a feeling that I knew what was going to come, but even though you find out like the twist at the end, it still hits you like oh, fuck. Oh, like I remember having that reaction, even though there was a part of my brain that was like, I think that might be a thing that happens.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where I will always say that's the thing that always captured my love for BioShock.
Mm-hmm.
Was obviously I was pretty young when I played BioShock. I played it when I was like 9.
Yeah.
So mind you, I didn't play it directly at launch.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because that's kind of what my parents were still doing, the whole like, oh, that's an M-rated game, Brandon, don't you be playing that? And I'm like, fuck you, mom, doing that whole thing.
I don't know, man. I was fucking playing. Let's see. I gotta look this up to see what year it came out, because I pretty much played it the year it came out. That's almost like 11-year-old Ricky playing GTA 3. But at the same time, my parents didn't give a shit about that. They knew that, hey, he's playing this game that has guns and shit. He's not going to be someone that tries to emulate what's in the game.
Yeah. And it was the only reason I ended up playing it was because it was my brother bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be, I would go into my brother's room and play games and everything. And it would always be the age-old classic of I'd have to sit here and angle the TV in a way that my parents couldn't see it if they walked in. And dude, little kid me, one, was terrified. Because, like, even though, like, the horror in that game is not, like, it's not, like, Outlast level horrors.
It's the ambiance, though, of the game.
Yeah, it's the atmosphere it puts you in. It's the fact of, like, if you are scared of the ocean, I don't think I'd recommend playing BioShock 1 or 2.
Being in tubes. Because, man, that put... I remember walking down the tubes and just looking out the window and just being like, oh yeah, we are millions and millions and millions of miles below the sea level.
Yep. And it just so happens my plane crashed right next to a lighthouse that led me down to Rapture.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and it's the whole thing with the BioShock franchise in general of, like, none of them are bad games. Like, obviously, I know you didn't really care for Infinite.
Yeah,
and,
but
like,
I'm thinking I might have to give that one a retry. I might have to give it a retry, almost 7 years later?
Yeah, it's... With Infinite, it doesn't have the exact same playstyle. Like, obviously, it's similar enough because all the BioShocks play exactly the same. But it's definitely like, I play them all in a row. Because I at least make sure once a year, or at least once through a year, I will play through all the BioShock games again. And that's exactly what I do every year. And every time it's like BioShock 1, love it the whole way through. BioShock 2, I'm like, okay, cool. If I kill one single little sister, I'm fucking done for. I'm getting the bad ending.
And, like, actually now looking at it, I think it was 2013 that I played it, because... BioShock Infinite was new at the time. I didn't play it like right when it came out in March, maybe like a couple months later, but like, yeah, so around 2013, BioShock Infinite was brand new. BioShock had been out for years. And that's like, for me, kind of going into the whole, like, I know Philly Sean in Twitch chat was like, oh, so Ricky's going to talk about all the WoW expansions. I will bring up one later in the discussion, because there is one WoW expansion that kind of is king among all the rest in me, and it's just nostalgia of how it is. Dave and I went back and played a private server of the expansion, and it was just as good, just as what I remembered when I was younger. But to kind of keep on the BioShock thing of, like, I don't know about you, Soapy, like, these are the games, the BioShocks, where it's like a single-player game, put you into a world, it's a linear story that you're following. Those are my jam. I like, even if it's like, all right, it's not completely linear, and it's kind of got an open world. Like, one game that I would have to really think about if it cracks my top 5. It's got a chance to crack the top 5. But I feel like I'm somebody that is higher on this game than everyone else. Like one game I really liked was Days Gone that came out not too long ago. I think it was like, 2 years ago? I think 2018 is when that one came out. Let's see. Days Gone, looking up the release. Okay, it's a year old. 2019 is when that came out. So just over a year old. And even like that game where it's like you're playing as one character, you're following a story, but it's got kind of like a big map and kind of like an open world where there are side missions. There's different like you could go straight through the story missions or kind of complete all the side missions before you continue on the story. Even those games, as long as the game to me has a great story, I'm going to be hooked, because those are that's what I look for in a game of, okay, what's the story of this game? Can I connect with the characters? And can you do something towards the end of the game that makes me go, oh shit, or kind of makes me feel a kind of reaction? And like Days Gone was one of those games where it got a reaction. I connected with, I'm trying to think of his name. I think it was Blake, was the character's name. I'm probably wrong on that. I'll have to look it up. But like those are the games that I gravitate to, are the kind of single player story based kind of games.
Yeah, and I fully agree with that. There's a lot of games that I've played that when it's a single player story, I just sit here and I'm like I've always said stories are kind of hard to get me into,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because like you gotta do it right. Because my whole thing is I don't like insanely slow paced stories, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of contradicts one of the games that are in my top 5,
Yeah.
or not so much in my top 5 of my favorite games of all time. It kind of contradicts that a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to that down the road.
Yeah.
My whole thought with games like Days Gone, obviously I didn't have a PlayStation, I haven't played it,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted people to play it, and we're like, personally, the gameplay just didn't look that fun to me.
Well, I mean, it reminded me, I'm trying to think, like the gun style, like the gunplay of it. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Last of Us, kind of like how it felt to like control the character, shoot the guns, shoot at the zombies. I think that's why there's like one of like, okay, I have a familiarity in that, to where it's like, okay, this is what needs to happen. Also, I feel like it added a sense of like an aspect to a zombie game that I had never experienced before. And that is, so throughout the game, you have a motorcycle. And you've had this motorcycle since the beginning of the game. I mean, it's a huge map. There's like a wood area you start out in, then you go to a second area, then you open up a third area, and then you even open up a new part of the map that's kind of like a second map that you're like, holy shit, I didn't even know that this like other land kind of existed. And the thing that was unique about it, and especially because you're dealing with these zombies, and this was one of the games that they actually specified, like, okay, we're going to have what are called hordes, where it is like 50 to 100 zombies all in one cluster, which I will tell you, taking one of those hordes on, it was very unique, and it was very, I don't want to say, there's some part that could be like, okay, it's scary, because like if you're a person like me and you get antsy and you're like, oh, gotta get away. I'm the kind of person, even when I'm playing NHL and you shoot it at my goalie, I will like kick my legs out like I am actually the goalie. Kicking my legs out does nothing, by the way, but I still do it. I kind of like put myself into the game. So if you're like that, it adds then just another level to where your heart is just constantly going. But the point I'm getting to is you have a motorcycle, right? And the thing that I thought was so unique is they had a gas gauge, to where it's like, all right, I got to either find, while I'm out, I got to find gas canisters that have gas in it. I gotta stop at like a gas station to see if like the pump has any gas in it, because if you run out of gas in the open world, all right, that's it. Fuck it. I can't use my motorcycle anymore. I'm going to have to go on foot to find gas, come back to my motorcycle, and then I can go ahead and use it again.
Yeah, and extremely open worlds like that, I think, have a place. And like, in a lot of people, and where I feel that's kind of like a divisive thing in a lot of games.
Yeah.
To where, like, for instance, I'm trying to remember what Final Fantasy it was. I wanted to say 15,
Okay.
but I don't think it's 15. It's either 15 or 14.
Is that the one with the cars?
I think so. That's the one where it's you don't play as Cloud, you play as a Edgy McEdgelord.
Oh, that's right.
Whatever his name is.
That is 14, I think.
All I gotta say is Edgy McEdgelord, which is literally 99% of fucking Final Fantasy characters. Yeah. And somehow this is what fucking comes from it.
I think that is 14. Yeah, it's 14.
Yeah, and like stuff like that, to where when I played 14, it was like my whole thing was I'm like, the open world's cool and all. One, riding a chocobo is fucking cool, but that's just because it's a chocobo.
Hey man, you get to ride a chocobo in Final Fantasy 16. It looks like medieval style.
Yeah, medieval chocobos. John, I think it's Noctis is the character.
Is it Noctis?
Yeah. I mean, dude, that sounds edgy. That's the whole reason why I'm saying he's Edgy McEdgelord. Dude, he wears all black. He's got black hair. He fucking he looks edgy. His name's edgy.
The Final Fantasy games, I will say, the only one that I tried to play, and Dave knows this, obviously, and it's actually funny, was Dave's like, you gotta play 7. Dave was really big into Final Fantasy 7. And
yeah, because it's the best Final Fantasy.
My copy of Final Fantasy, dual discs, was broken to where early in the game, I want to say even before you get to the first boss, that's how early. Or it might have been right after the first boss. I don't know, Dave, you'd have to fact check me if you're still in chat. But you're on the train, and it's like you wait on the train a little bit, and then you get off of it. My game was bugged to where the train never stopped. So you were actually like just on the train, and it would just go dun 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 dun, to where it's like I couldn't advance with my copy further than that part. So I was like, fuck it, I can't play this game. This dual disc set that I have is now just a PlayStation brick game that I just use as a paperweight now because I can't play the game unless I want to play up and to that point over and over and over. So that to me is kind of like, I think, one of the reasons why most of the Final Fantasy games, except for Final Fantasy X I played. I loved Final Fantasy X, fucking Blitzball for life. And then I am one of the people where if you didn't like X2, I was not completely... Now, is X2 one of my go-to Final Fantasy games? It is not. But I did not hate X2 as much as I've had other people hate it. The customization with where it kind of felt like, hey, it's Final Fantasy with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen fashion show. That kind of is in there. It's all about the outfits for the ladies. But yeah, I remember playing that when I first got it and thought it was badass because I enjoyed those characters. Another game that I'm kind of thinking about, Soapy, kind of like to go from the Days Gone. This game is probably, now I'd have to sit down and, like, if we were doing a list of, like, top 5, I would have to sit down and think of it. But, like, most influential, hit me the hardest, shook me to my core, was a great game. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, it's checking all these boxes. Last of Us #1. And I feel like that's one where it's like people are going to go, well, no, duh, Ricky. But, like, that is the game that if you just say all-time favorite game you've played, my brain instantly just goes, boom, Last of Us #1. Like, that to me, I feel like is my most favorite game that I've ever played. Because, like I've said, I'm into story games. It had an amazing story. It got me to care about not just one character, but two characters and the situations that game puts you in. Not talking about Last of Us 2, just talking Last of Us 1. The situations that game puts you in made me like you care about this character? All right, now we're just going to dial it up to 10 and make sure you're really feeling for this character because now we're playing with your heartstrings now that we've got your heart in our hands.
And talking about playing with heartstrings, I've talked to you about this game multiple times. It's one of the few games to ever actually get me to cry.
Okay.
Like, straight up cry. Well, technically both games got me to.
Okay.
The Walking Dead Telltale games.
Oh, yeah. Did I cry when Lee died?
I know I cried with that one. I cried at
I can't remember.
when I killed Kenny.
Yeah.
Because my first playthrough, I was like, Kenny's actually gone fucking insane.
Yeah.
Turns out, nope, not anymore.
Yeah.
And like I literally sat there, paused my fucking cutscene, and just restarted.
Yeah. No, you've mentioned that before. Shit. I completely forgot. Like, that first game was the one to where, like, I think the part in that game, not the first one, I think it was the second one, the part in the Telltale Walking Dead games that hit me the hardest was when you had to, shit, I can't remember. Was it both little kids? I think it was just one, because I think the one little kid killed his brother, and then basically you had to make a decision there. And it was, my mind made how do I want to put this? It was an easy decision, but it was a decision I didn't want to make, if that makes sense. Because I believe, if I'm remembering right, Soapy, you had the thought process of like, tell everyone what happened, or basically say, no, I'm just going to end you right here. And I want to say, because I'm remembering that right? First off,
I believe so. For which one are you talking about? With the first one or second one?
I think it's in the second one. I'm gonna look it up. Fucking, because I remember in the story, it was you had the two brothers, right? The two little kids. The one killed the other, shot him in the head with the gun, and all I remember is choosing to kill the other one. Of like, nope, you killed your brother. This is what we have to do. I can't take chances. Because I remember feeling like my brain, easy choice to make, but having a feeling of like, I don't want to have to kill a kid.
Yeah, and it's, and shit, like, and this is where I always will say, Telltale did the best with doing this. With games like that, I think it is always very fucking hard. By the way, I genuinely, I also agree with Sean. I do not remember that at all.
Okay.
So
I thought I remember the thing I remember first, like mainly, is there were two little kids and one killed the brother. That's all. Like, that's the thing that is most vivid. I'm looking it up.
Okay. Yeah, it's like normally with games like that, like it doesn't really bring out like anything with me. But it's like one felt really fucking sad at the end of the game. And also, I think the main thing that hit me so hard with the ending of 2, I'd say spoiler alert, but fuck it, dude, the game's old as hell if you haven't seen the ending of it. Yeah. When, like, just seeing the way Kenny turns out, like, dude, throughout the entire game, obviously my second playthrough through it, sided with Kenny on fucking everything. I'm like, Kenny is a good man. You leave him alone.
Kenny is a good man.
But whenever they have, like situations where it's when you're at the snow cabin, or like when you're at the mountain lodge, like that genuinely got my fucking heart racing. Because I'm like, okay, like especially when they have I forget what the guy's name is, that he brings his whole group there, and he basically is holding your group hostage so until Kenny comes inside. Because he's like, just give me Sarah. That's all I want. Just give me Sarah, and I'll let all of you go. Which, even though I could tell that fucker was lying, he ain't gonna let us go.
Yeah.
In my in my head, first playthrough, I'm like, that fucker ain't gonna let me go. He ain't letting me leave.
That little fucker ain't gonna let me go.
Yeah. And it's just the fucking genuine. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, dude, I'm like, what option do I make here? And it's because it's the fact of, like, for instance, I think his name's Al. I think is what his name was. It's the I don't want to give just a general description of it, but it's like he's the black guy that his wife in the game is pregnant. I think it's Al. I think is what his name is. It's if you fuck up there, he dies, and like you can technically keep him around until like the final chapter.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, I actually like Al as a character. Yeah, Alvin, that was his name. I just forgot the Vin part of his name. Shocker. But like, he was such a fucking good character. He was so nice to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so used to in every game, every NPC or anything just treating you like shit. Because it's also, I remember with The Last of Us, or not Last of Us. It's what's the fucking, oh my god, my brain doesn't want to work right now. With in episode 1 of where it's like, obviously, you know, everyone kind of treats Lee better by the end of the game. But like early on, it's like everyone's a little bit of an asshole to Lee.
Yeah.
Sean, you leave what's that one fucking guy's name? I don't remember what his name is. It's not Alvin though. He's the one guy that I think he.
Where do you meet? Like, what would be his association with the game? Because I've got the characters up here, like Everett family, Clementine family. Like, where do you meet
about
him? The guy you're talking about now? I can look up his name. I have it in front of me.
You meet him in Last of Us 2, or not Last of Us 2. Walking Dead Season 2.
Okay.
Because he's part of the first initial group. Because I think he's the one who finds Clementine.
You've got Ralph, Victor, Winston, Luke.
Yeah, I think it's Luke. Luke is a wholesome man.
There's Luke, Sarah, and Carlos.
Yeah, I know it's not Carlos because Carlos is Sarah's dad.
Yeah,
I think it's Luke. Luke is a wholesome man, Demon, and you leave him alone.
Yeah, I think
Luke's trying his best.
So the thing I think, why am I going crazy here thinking of this? Where, because I played, the thing is with this one, I played Last of Us 1 and some of Last of Us 2, because it was one of those things where like episode 1 and 2 were out of season 2. And then, like, as the other ones came out, I was doing other things. I think what I'm remembering, and I'm remembering it horribly, is the decision you had to make with Ducky, where basically you had the three choices of you shoot him, have Kenny shoot him, or leave him to die. And that was a decision that I made to where it's like, I'm going to be the one to kill him because I'm not going to have his dad kill him. He couldn't be alive. 2, no dad should have to put down their own son. So I took it into my hands.
I mean, dude, I'm just saying. Demon spitting facts right there, dude. Fuck Duck. Fuck him.
Why do you guys hate Ducky so much?
Duck got that one guy's kid fucking killed. If Duck wasn't such an incompetent fucking loser.
What was that kid's name?
What?
The kid
that fucking Ducky got killed?
Yes.
I believe it was Sean.
I'm going to look it up. I think that's what is that what I was thinking? Let's see.
Yeah, it's either Sean or it's, I don't remember exactly what his name is, but it's the guy you meet at the farmhouse that he helps you in Clementine at like the beginning of the game. No, it's at Herschel's farm. It's Herschel's kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for Herschel's family, it just says Herschel and Sean. So it's got to be Sean.
Yeah. And, man, I wanted Sean to live. I was like, dude, fuck Duck. All right? Fuck this annoying-ass little kid. Mm-hmm. Fuck him. I already got Clementine. I don't need another kid in this group.
Let's see.
Basically, I almost was so tempted to be like, just use Duck as a fucking distraction for the zombies. Just toss his ass out the window and run.
That's right, because you had to choose between saving Sean and saving Duck.
And no matter what, Sean dies. So...
Yeah.
And Duck lives. It just depends, because then at that point, Kenny's like, you tried to get my son killed. And I wish I could fucking go and chat and be like, Lee, listen here, I understand. Like, Kenny, I really understand your problem, with me trying to fucking get your kid killed. But fuck Duck.
I don't
Sean's
know
better.
Which one I chose there. I don't know which one I chose. Like, that's the thing I love about the Telltale games is the fucking choices, man. Like,
Yeah.
I love games to where it's like the choices you make actually fucking matter. Because the thing I love about the games that do it right, the like I think Undertale. I'm trying to think. I think Undertale has this kind of aspect to it, to where depending how you play the game and choices you make in the game, like that's not a game where, all right, A or B, what are you gonna do? But like based on like how you play the game, depends on what kind of an ending you get. I love when games do that because it kind of gets that, okay, I got this ending. I want to play it again. I want to play it on the other side. See what happens when I play the game in a sense or in a way that I usually wouldn't play the game.
Yeah. And because like you said, it's the Walking Dead games do that perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, for instance, in like just in season 1, there's fucking literally there's, I think in like the last chapter,
Mm-hmm.
if you made technically every right choice,
Yeah.
almost everyone in that group is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still kind of wish that I could have cut Lee's arm off right away to stop the infection, but fuck me, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to save my character.
Yeah.
That's fine though. I'll just cry about it a little bit later.
One of the ones I love, and if you go on the, I know we split them up at this time, but if you go to the MVP Sports, maybe we'll do like a MVP Classic, and I'll re-upload them to the MVP Entertainment channel. But we have on the Sports channel, you'd have to do some digging, where Mark and I played The Wolf Among Us. And like that one was really fun to play. That one I remember having a fun time with also.
That pig's a dickhead, but I love him.
What?
There was the pig character. What's his fucking name?
Yeah,
I love that character.
The character that was basically his pet, but also his roommate.
Yeah, I fucking loved that guy.
You're right. He was an absolute dick. Another game to get away from the Telltale games a little bit. I can't go a all-time favorite without bringing up Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, especially 1 and 2, hold a special place in my heart. Those are games that every once in a while I will be like, fuck it, I'm going to replay Kingdom Hearts 1. Fuck it, I'm going to replay Kingdom Hearts 2. And just like those were games that really, yet again, it's Ricky. So it's got to be a first-person game, or it's got to be a single-player game that tells a good story. That is how you're going to just get me into your game. But the kind of, for me, one of the last ones that I'll bring up, I said I'll bring it up, but the one WoW expansion I will mention, Soapy, because I know that this will kind of bring us into a little bit of games that you said were like more of your favorite, which are like the strategy RPGs. So we'll use this to kind of segue into that before we end things today. But to me, if I was going to put this game would be in my top 5, would be the Burning Crusade expansion for World of Warcraft. And those of you who have watched the show, those of you that know me, this is like a no-brainer. That's Ricky's favorite expansion. I don't know if it's something of, I think a little bit of it is nostalgia to the fact of where it was like, I was in high school. I think that was 2007. I want to say that was a day before my birthday, too, that it came out. Let's see. Burning Crusade came out. Oh, no, it came out, a day before my birthday. And then in Australia, it came out on my birthday. But, it came out January 16th, the day before. Actually, a day before my golden birthday. Yeah, because that was when I was turning 17. So, like, for me, like, I was just had gotten into WoW. Maybe like a year and a half, maybe a year. Before that, it was all my fondest memories from playing WoW, and like over all the years I've played WoW, I've made connections. Like, usually World of Warcraft, you would think like, oh, that's not a single player game. It's got lore, but it doesn't have like a linear story that like you're being followed on. You kind of have to look and focus on the lore pieces. But like, this is a game, the thing I loved about World of Warcraft, and I've said it before, the connections you make. And the Burning Crusade days were probably my best stories. And maybe that's why it's one of my favorite all times for games. Maybe like that's it. It doesn't have to do with the game at all. It was about the people I was playing with. Because Soapy, I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I don't even know if I've said it on the podcast, but I'll say it anyway. So I was in a guild. This is probably one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite stories from World of Warcraft, but it doesn't have a happy ending. So I was in a guild. This was when Dave and I had broken off from each other on the path to where I was more of a casual player, to where it's like, you know what? If I get to the highest raid in the game, that's cool. But if I don't, I'm just enjoying playing the game. Where Dave at this time was, I'm rolling with my hardcores. We're pushing for end game content. Let's go ahead and go. Let's roll. I want to get through all the content in this game. And there was a guild that I was in. We called it Boss, Brethren of Swift Steel. And this was, back in the A-Day, one of my favorite guilds that I've ever been in. It was a co-guild leader guild ran by a husband and a wife. And it was just like a great community. You pop into, I think it was Ventrilo. No, it might have been TeamSpeak. Actually, it might have been TeamSpeak. Whatever. TeamSpeak or Ventrilo. You can pop in. People are playing. You're basically talking to friends while playing World of Warcraft. The interesting part of this story is I leave Brethren of Swift Steel because everything went haywire. First off, Soapy, do you want to take a guess why things went haywire? What caused this guild to break up?
No idea.
The guild leaders who were married were getting a divorce.
Oof.
So that forced just basically like people didn't like playing anymore. People were leaving. I got out at this time. The funniest thing about this, I think it's funny, is this divorce was so nasty. The guild was involved in the divorce papers, where the winner of the divorce got the guild at the end. They put that in the papers that whoever won would be the sole guild leader of Brethren of Swift Steel.
Wow. That's not gonna lie, that's kind of fucking pathetic. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't think that was possible, that like somebody would like, you know what, I'm divorcing you and fuck it, you're not taking my guild. I want my guild. Like I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when like whoever brought it up, him to his lawyer or her to her lawyer, and just see the look on the lawyer's face of like, wait, what did I just hear? you want possession of what?
Man, dude, what a fucking story.
Could you imagine being that involved with like your significant other, that it's like, fuck it, you're not taking my guild away from me? But yeah, that would be the one expansion.
That's where the fucking problematic part in gaming comes, dude. Like that's a fucking fuel for the flame.
Talk about Joe Rogan
who just
now.
hate video. Yeah. Like, for people who shit on gaming and everything, and they're like, oh, you know, some people, you know, get too attached. Mm-hmm. That's the fucking definition of too attached. Of like, listen here, bitch, I'm taking you to court. You ain't taking my fucking guild.
What I think it was in the end of things, I think she brought it up because I think it was one of those things where he was into WoW first. He got her into WoW as they were dating. And then they just like played together. They were just a WoW couple that was married. And I think what brought it up was her trying to get at him, where I want to go ahead and make your life a living hell. how do I do that? Attack the one thing you love most in this life, other than me. And I want to make your life miserable because this is going to stick with you for some time. Like, that's what I think it was. I think she was the manipulative one in that divorce. But yeah, it was funny too. Like, I was a 17, 18-year-old kid at that time. Maybe, when did Wrath come out? The end of that expansion. Because it wasn't even the end of that expansion, but Wrath of the Lich King. But I think that was 2009 that came out. Nope, 2008. So, yeah, I was not even 18. I was maybe still 17. Maybe I just turned 18. And I was like, shit, man, a World of Warcraft guild getting included in divorce papers? Never thought that would happen. What are some other games, not story-based, Soapy, that you would put? Because, like, I know you mentioned to me before we started that your main wheelhouse is the strategy RPG side of things.
Yeah, so my main thing with RPGs, and this is where I'm throwing it out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll get the non-RPG and strategy games out of the way now.
Okay.
Dark Souls, any of them, is on my list. And it's mostly just because, and I'll also bunch in Shadow of the Colossus in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because it's like, dude, it's that atmosphere in the game. Obviously, Dark Souls is meant to piss people off, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I only slightly get pissed off when I play it, just slightly. I totally don't actually get like too far beyond pissed off or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's seeing like some of the bosses. Like, for instance, I put the picture of the Gaping Dragon in there, or you know, I'm not going to repeat what the community called the Gaping Dragon because I don't want to get us in trouble.
Are you talking about in the Discord?
Yeah,
okay.
The one that I put in the gaming chat that you had to ask me what the fuck was that?
Well,
thing?
I wasn't in the watch along that day, so I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's another thing, like, side topic. I'm thinking about every day making, like, just a text chat that is, like, watch along. That's, like, for the context of, hey, this is what they were talking about in the watch along.
Dude, if that popped up in watch along, I don't think anyone would fucking understand. Like, imagine, it just goes from a regular conversation where I drop a picture of the Moonlight Butterfly and then the fucking Gaping Dragon.
But then I would just know, okay, that's what they're talking about. Not like, so what conversation is Soapy trying to start with this?
Well, yeah, but it's... And the reason why I'm kind of bunching in Shadow of the Colossus in there as well...
Mm-hmm.
Man, the fucking absolute... Like, it's the grandeur of the way the bosses and everything look.
Yeah.
Of where it's... Like, it's not larger than life,
mm-hmm.
but, like, when you see it, it's, like, it almost kind of, like, takes your breath away for a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be brutally honest, dude. I remember when I was really little. I think I was, like, 8.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, seeing one of the Titans for the first time when I was a little... Or one of the Colossus when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a big... obviously, this is more me phrasing it how I would now. I'm like, that's a big boy.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Yeah, but, like, when I was younger, it was, like, I literally felt, like,
mm-hmm.
the air leave my lungs. I was like, holy shit. Like, I basically gasped.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff like that has always really, like, excited me with gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Of where it's like, hey, man, it's go big or go home.
Yeah.
It turns out they went big. And Shadow of the Colossus, hence the name.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then with Dark Souls, it's also, I just like games that have challenge.
Yeah.
With RPGs, the Wasteland games will always hold a special place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because mostly with Wasteland 3, it's because you can get a frozen ferret launcher.
A frozen ferret launcher?
Yeah. There's you can find ammo in the game that's a frozen ferret, and you can shoot it at people.
Did not know that.
Yeah. And it's also just the setting of it kind of fits into the more of the RPG side of
mm-hmm.
I fucking love Fallout. I don't know how many times I gotta basically verbally jerk this game off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how often I have to.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, 76 Garbo. Don't even count that as a game. Fallout 4,
Mm-hmm.
At most is Fallout New Vegas, great. Fallout 3, pretty good. Not great, pretty good.
Yeah.
Fallout 1 and 2, great. Like, it is literally, I fucking love that game series.
with Fallout New Vegas. I think it was Fallout. It might have been Fallout 3. Maybe. I think it was New Vegas, though. I bought it to play it, and I was playing something else at the time, and my friend, his name was Matt, was like, can I borrow your Fallout game, play it while you're playing that, and then like I'll give it back? And I was like, yeah, sure. It's like, fuck it, I trust you. Never got that game back, by the way. So I never played Fallout. Like, that would have been the first Fallout game I played.
Man, you need to fucking play it.
And then I never...
Because I will say this right now.
I never got into Fallout because I never fucking bought a Fallout game. Like, I had bought that one to play it. Or was it... I gotta look it up. I gotta look up what one it is.
I will tell you this right now. If my broke ass has enough money, I will pay for you to fucking be able to play Fallout New Vegas with the DLCs.
Was it new? I'm trying to see. Was it New? It wasn't New Vegas. I'm gonna say that right now.
Probably 3 then.
Yeah, was it 3 or was it? No, yeah, it was 3. It was 3 because that was when I was in high school, and that's when me and him hung out. Yeah, so it was. Yeah, 3.
I was gonna say, unless you gave a disc for a game from the '90s to one of your friends.
No.
Yeah, then it wouldn't have been 3. Fallout 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. It was either 3 or 4. I think it was 3 though.
What console were you playing it on? Because
either PS3 or PS4. I think it was PS3. Yeah, it was PS3. Right. So it was Fallout. It was Fallout 3.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, because I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. You would know if it's Fallout 4 because Fallout 4 graphically is the best one. Everything else wise.
No. You got to think about this. I never popped the game into my console. Console. To where I was playing, because I bought it with like 3 other games. Because like there was a sale at Target. Like, I think this was around the time, I think it was either Walmart or Target had a sale where it was 3 games. You got 3 games for like $100 or something like that. Like, the deal was ridiculous. Basically, it was almost like a buy 2 get 1 free, but you weren't even paying full price for the 2 games in the deal. To where I was like, fuck it, I gotta go ahead and do this. I remember I was playing one of the other ones first, and I lent it to him and then never got it back. So I want to say it was Fallout 3 that I would have played. And I don't know how good Fallout 3 was.
Oh, Fallout 3 is pretty good. It's not It's not the best new age Fallout, because what a lot of people will do, they will count Fallout 1 and 2 separate because they're a completely different style of game.
Mm-hmm.
Because Fallout 1 and 2 are like top-down games.
Uh-huh.
They kind of have like the same camera angle as League of Legends.
Yeah.
And it's basically it's like it's like a turn-based game. It's like a turn-based RPG. With the new ones, it's more of like an action-adventure RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm saying, if I have enough money, I will pay for you to play fucking New Vegas with all the DLCs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking on maybe I got to look on the PlayStation Store on my PlayStation, but right now I was like, I wonder how much, if they got New Vegas on the PS Store. Some games I want to list off rapid fire that I want to give love to is number 1, the Sonic Adventure games on Dreamcast. Absolutely love those games. Those were ones where I remember playing those with Dave sitting next to him. That was one of the best ones. The ending of the first one, when you've got like all the Chaos Emeralds are together, you've got this giant monster. The fucking moment Sonic went Super Saiyan, I was like, oh shit, this is so fucking cool. I was like, he just went fucking Super Saiyan. Yeah, fucking the best. Sanic.
Gotta go face.
What's the vine? Was it the kid said leave Sonic alone, or was it save Sonic? The kid with the backpack.
The fucking, when will you learn your actions have consequences? That one.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that was the one. That was basically the make Sonic good again, basically.
Yeah. Well, and Philly Sean said Sonic Adventure 1 is great. 2 is the greatest Sonic game ever. The thing with 2 that I just absolutely love that makes it a little bit better than 1 is playing as Shadow. Shadow to me is one of the best Sonic characters, if not the best Sonic character ever created. Other games I wanted to give kind of a shout out to, God of War. I got into the God of War late. I played it as a Game of the Year edition, but there was one summer, I want to say it was, my sister was dating her ex-boyfriend, who was a hockey player, so this was late PS3 era. But basically there was one summer where I bought God of War 1, 2, and 3. I think 3 was like the newest. The other two were Game of the Year editions, combined, where it was 2 games in one. And I remember platinuming 1 and 2, just beating 3, never got to get that platinum trophy. Absolutely loved God of War 1. It was such a fucking good game. And there was one more game I wanted to give love to. Phantasy Star, obviously. That was one of the first fucking games that got me into land gaming. What I mean by land gaming, too, is not actually bringing my GameCube to Dave's house, but basically Dave, our friend Sean, our friend Nick, and then myself, all being able to play a 4-player co-op RPG-like game. Kind of MMORPG, but it wasn't really MMO. Now it's MMO because Phantasy Star is online. But back then, just an RPG shooter game that you get loot, you go through the game. That was great to play with friends, and we absolutely loved it. The one thing I will never let Sean, and if you're watching this, I know you're not, but if you are, I will never let you forget that. So how they did the weapons was like, if you got a red, like it was a red box, that was like the ultra rare weapons. And we had a bazooka, which was really rare. And instead of trading the bazooka to one of us, because what Sean liked to do was, oh, I got this character to 30, I'm bored, let me go ahead and remake a character. Instead of saying, hey, let me trade the bazooka to one of my other characters or trade it to one of us, he just deleted his character with the bazooka on it. So we lost the bazooka entirely. Dave lost his... So Dave's main character was a hunter named Malekith that had fucking dual-bladed... not Anderson. No, childhood friend. Childhood friend, same name, different last name. But yeah, this is... fuck. Yeah, his name was Malekith, dual-bladed fucking sabers. Dave's main character. Dave loved this character. Dave blames me for this character for what happened, although it's not my fault. There was no way to save him, Dave. Let's just be honest. There was no way to save him. But I mean, yeah, it was, we went to a loading screen and the game froze. And of course, my big brain was like, oh, restart the system. That'll work. And Dave's character got corrupted.
Oof.
So Dave had to make a new character. Probably now, Dave not as heated as he was then. But yeah, back then, Dave was pretty upset that his character got deleted. Oh, and there was one more game I was going to mention. I just completely forgot what it was. Oh,
Can
fuck.
I mention one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Borderlands.
Borderlands is that, yeah.
Sorry, I just had to slap that one in there.
Which one?
Dude,
1, 2, or 3 if you had to pick one?
2.
Okay.
And man, it's because I dumped so many goddamn hours into that game. To put this in perspective.
I think I would pick
let me
one.
Just,
I think I'd pick 1 over 2.
See, because and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm saying 2, you have no idea how many fucking builds that I have on there. Like, to put this in perspective, like, you know how there's the 3 skill trees and all that fun shit?
Yeah. You have, like, ultimate possibilities?
Yep. I had one for if I wanted to do, like, Money Shot Sal, which was basically OP as fuck. If I wanted to do that, but with a certain gun. So I'd have, like, 10 of one character.
Mm-hmm.
All with different guns. Like, some of them are still geared the same. It's just, like, a slightly different thing.
Yeah.
Like, all of them, highest level, highest...
Soapy's got his own
level.
Multiverses going on there.
Whew. Oh, no, dude. You bet your ass how many times I tried to get even a speed kill on a raid boss.
Damn.
Yeah, it's... Dude, with Borderlands 2, it was... At one point, I got really fucking close, and it pisses me off to this day. I could have beat the fucking speed kill for the fucking the dragons in the Tiny Tina DLC in Borderlands 2.
Okay.
I literally all I had because I would have done it with Krieg, which one is impressive as fuck because Krieg sucks ass in that fight to begin with. Krieg sucks ass at the highest levels, anyways. I literally was like one blood explosion away from doing it.
Shit.
I got so fucking mad, I never touched that character again. I literally changed the name of that character to Disappointment, never played it again. And I gave up. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah. The thing with me with number one is, I think it was because of just the opening scene. Like at that time, I almost said Cage Against the Machine. That's not right. Cage the Elephant was big. They had their fucking song, obviously.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
And just like, I remember like the comedy level of that game where you have just the skag in the middle of the road and then just bam, it gets hit by the bus. And you've got the fucking music playing to where I remember laughing hysterically out loud physically at that entire opening scene. And I remembered my game, Soapy. The GTA franchise, like up to GTA 3, Vice, San Andreas, and I think 4 were the ones that I played.
I'm surprised you weren't one of the 5 million people and by 5 million, I mean 500 million people to play fucking GTA 5.
No, I never played GTA 5. I bought it for cheap on the PlayStation Store. Yeah, because it's had so many goddamn updates to it. Yeah, I started in 2001, 11-year-old Ricky playing GTA 3, then 12-year-old Ricky playing GTA Vice City, 14-year-old Ricky playing San Andreas, and then 18-year-old Ricky being the one to play GTA 4, and that was the last GTA game that I played. But to me, hands down, just like you with the Borderlands series, Soapy, hands down, best GTA game, come at
San
me,
Andreas,
come
baby.
fight me, Vice City.
Oh, man, dude. Go with
Vice
the
City.
sleeper pick.
Vice City, like that's the best one. Best soundtrack, best story, best comedy, best everything, best aesthetic.
Story.
Go with it. Like, how was it not the best story?
Did it have fucking Big Smoke in it?
No,
I don't think so.
It didn't have Big Smoke.
Dude, I'm just saying.
The thing I loved about San Andreas, though, because you bring up San Andreas, and this is what Dave and I did mostly in San Andreas, is let's get the fighter jet cheat code, spawn a fighter jet down, fly that sucker all the way up, highest it could go, and then just jump out. That's what we would do. Parachute, no parachute, didn't matter.
Yeah, dude, it's just San Andreas is such a good fucking game, dude. I love it.
That would be number 2 for me, followed by 3.
Yeah, and my whole thing, I'm trying to think if there's any other games I can think of. I mean, Splinter Cell Conviction, but it's also just I'm a really big Tom Clancy fan.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we've already talked about before. I was excited as fuck that Sam Fisher was being in Siege.
Do we give the nod to Modern Warfare 2 for the unique multiplayer experience that will never be experienced again by anyone in the history of gaming?
And that'll never be repeated for anything I heard in that lobby, because, man.
Could you imagine that gamer lobby in 2020? I can't.
Dude, so many people would get canceled.
Yeah, so many people would get canceled. If only Twitch was a thing back then, man. Like,
dude, I'm happy Twitch wasn't a fucking thing.
Like, there are some shit that got captured from that, of people like recording, but like, man, if everybody and their grandmother was recording MW2 locker rooms, those were the days, but not the days as Archie Bunker was talking about.
Yeah, those are the days of where it's if you were a little kid on the internet, you grew up real fucking quick.
Sean,
and I mean real quick.
This guy brings up a good one, GoldenEye, N64. I know we didn't mention a lot of N64 games. But yeah, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie was also really good. Legend of Zelda, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Donkey Kong 64, fucking love that game. Lanky's my boy. I think it was Lanky, right? Is that guy's name? The fucking orangutan.
Yeah.
DK64 characters. What was the big guy's name? Clunk?
Yeah,
Chunky,
I think it was Clunk.
Chunky Kong. So you got Lanky Kong, Chunky Kong, Candy Kong, Wrinkly Kong. Fuck. They only give me 2 of the ones. Yeah, Dixie Kong, Donkey Kong, Tiny Kong. Tiny Kong was fucking cool to play as. Diddy Kong, and then Lanky and Chunky. Yeah, Lanky was my boy. I loved fucking Lanky Kong. Any final game, Soap, that you think we didn't mention? We probably have missed some, but yeah, we only got a certain amount of time to do this in.
Pokemon!
Oh, you know what yesterday was?
What?
The anniversary of Red and Blue, baby.
Oh, man.
Red and Blue came out, how many years ago? So Red and Blue released in 1996. So yesterday was actually the, what would that be? The 22nd anniversary of Red and Blue?
I think so. Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't know. Every time I hear Red and Blue, I just think of Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, dude, I'm like, that fucking good YouTube series is old as fuck, then.
Yeah, good show, though.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other ones.
Favorite Pokemon series? Like, favorite, like, generation, I should say.
I think it's Gen 4. Gen 4 is Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, right?
Let's see. I've got it pulled up here.
I think it's Gen 4.
4.
That's either Gen 4 or that's Gen 5. Because I think... Wait, okay, never mind. No, it's Gen 4. Because I forgot the remix of Gold and Silver.
Yep.
Counted as second gen as well.
Yeah. No, that's... Heart Gold and Soul Silver are Gen 4. Or it's in the Gen 4 section. Yeah, Yellow, Crystal, and Emerald. Yeah, Pearl. Diamond and Pearl were Gen 4.
Yep. Platinum's the best one, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
I understand this guy's saying Pokemon Yellow is the best, but I'm just saying, Platinum's pretty fucking good.
The thing that I loved about Yellow, so obviously for me, Diamond and Pearl was when I got off of the Pokemon train, and didn't play. Like, I'm trying to think. I might have played Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
I played the shit out of both those, by the way.
What, Heart Gold and Silver or Diamond and Platinum?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, because that was back when my dumbass didn't realize they literally are the exact same game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta get both.
Like, obviously, the two that I liked the most was Gold, and then the thing that was unique about Yellow that I don't know if I would put it over, because Blue was my boy. Like, I had the Blastoise, I had Blue. That was my main Pokemon game as a kid. But, like, Yellow, what it did was you had your starter 3, which Charmander for life. That's what we're going with. Fucking, you go Charizard or you get the fuck out of here. Squirtle close second, but he didn't have sunglasses, so he's not the cool Squirtle. The thing about Yellow, though, is it ran right along with the TV series. You got Pikachu, you got all the starters. So, like, for me, it was like this one's closer to what I remember being on TV rather than Red and Blue that was, oh, you get to pick one of these 3 and then you got to find a Pikachu.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait for when they remaster Diamond and Pearl in 50 years when I'm in my fucking grave. So that's when they'll decide to do it.
Yeah. Ooh, Philly Sean going with the wrong choice. You never go Bulbasaur number 1. Bulbasaur choice 3. Bulbasaur garbage. Garbo. That's what I'm saying. Garbo. Charmander number 1 because he leads to Charizard.
Nope. Blastoise better than Charizard.
You know what? That's an opinion I can respect though. Like, I am soul number 2 on the Squirtle train. But yeah, like when it comes to finals, Blastoise is respectable. Like I can respect that. Venusaur, Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, get them out of here. Get them over
Imagine
there.
just being a plant, dude.
Yeah,
Imagine
know, right?
choosing a plant over a fucking... Yeah, like imagine being a fucking plant where you can either be a turtle tank or a goddamn dragon.
Let's see. This guy says when your Gen 1 games have 3 save slots, Charmander, Squirtle, and a second Charmander save. No, man. Charizard's the fucking boss. He's the one that helped me beat the Elite Four, my guy. Beating that Elite Four, bringing it down. Fire Blast, best attack in the entire game. Any final thoughts, Soapy, before we end it? I mean, besides Hyper Beam or Dragon Blast.
I was gonna say, put some respect on the real OP moves.
Fucking that fucking Dragon Blast from Dragonite was like game fucking over if it fucking hit. What was that? Lance? Lance was the one that had the fucking the Dragon team, right?
I think so.
Because he had like a Dratini, a Dragonair. Yeah, his fucking lineup for Red and Blue was he hit you with a level 58 Gyarados, then 2 level 56 Dragonairs, then an Aerodactyl who was 60, and then if you got through all that, fucking here's a Dragonite level 62. Yeah, good luck with that. Same thing in yellow. So I should say the same thing. All right, that was a you, not a me. I had to check. But yeah, any final games before we wrap this one up, Soaps?
No more games. I just want to tell Philly Sean he's wrong. Okay. He's not a plant dragon. Okay. He's just a plant.
He's just a plant. But that's gonna do it for MVP Games Live today. Make sure you let us know if you're on YouTube. Let us know the fucking games you love to play. What were your favorite games all time? What are some we missed? Because there are probably a few that we did. But remember, Discord, link down below, or !Discord in Twitch. It's a great community. You can talk to everyone from the real MVP family. We're having conversations in there each and every day at all hours of the day and the night. Make sure to, if you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, several different areas for you to support us if you would like to and get rewarded for it. You can also sub to us on Twitch and get the same rewards as a bronze level patron onto the patron. So Twitch subs get the same rewards there. And remember, we're also on YouTube, MVP Entertainment. So go like, sub, follow us at both Twitch and twitch.tv/MVPvids. MVP Entertainment on YouTube. Go follow us at both places. That's going to do it for Soapy and I. We will be back tomorrow, definitely talking about not Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, Cold War, Black Ops Cold War. The zombies are revealed tomorrow, so we'll be breaking that down, giving our opinions on that. Soapy will have an opinion that he mentioned to me off screen today that I'm going to save for tomorrow, Soapy. So I'm letting you know in incognito code that the opinion you shared with me today, I do want you to share tomorrow when we talk about zombies, because I don't have an answer to it. I stopped playing zombies early, but you're the zombie guy. So I want you to share that tomorrow. But that's going to do it for us on Twitch. MVP Sports Live with Dave and I coming up next. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.